This is the HaltingWinter Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. HaltingWinter exists to help small business owners grow and scale their company. What are we trying to do? We're trying to help you get out of the weeds, get above that so that you can see what's really going on in your organization so that you can take the right steps, right? Part of the issue of being a business owner is you just get overwhelmed by the daily grind, and then you get afraid that you're going to take a wrong step. You're going to do something that costs you money, costs you time, and so you live in this stress. You live in this kind of paralyzation, and that's what we want to do. We want to come alongside and say, man, it doesn't have to be that way. Work doesn't have to be stressful. It can be enjoyable, and you can be making more revenue and more profit. What we got to do is just get the right frameworks in place for you to be able to grow and scale, and we can do that. I use the Business Made Simple framework. This is Don Miller's story brand, Business Made Simple. I'm sure you've heard of them by now. He just has some great frameworks that I love. I'm just captivated by story. And I think because we love books, we love movies, we love podcasts, we love all the things that tell us a story. We love to be entertained because we want the feels of a good story. We want the adventure of a good story. And we have problems. We like seeing problems solved. And so that's why a good story is captivating. And your business is a part of a story. You are solving people's problems through your products and your services, and people want to be a part of that story. So let me help you tell your story better. Let me tell a more captivating story. Let me grow your story so you can be more impactful, help more people. Today, we're continuing the series Common Small Business Problems. Common Small Business Problems. This week, we've done delighting customers. How do we delight customers? How do we make their experience overwhelming? Last episode, we talked about hiring talented people. So as we delight more customers, hopefully we grow and need to hire people. Well, how do we hire talented people? We talked about that last week. Today, as you hire those talented people, now we have the problem of managing workflow. One of the biggest problems is you just feel overwhelmed. I think a lot of people get into business and they have a skill, they have a passion, and they're like, man, this is going to be awesome. And then all of a sudden, they realize owning a business has so many other components, as things like payroll and money management and cash flow. It has things like products and services and how to make sure that we're actually delivering all that we're saying we can provide for the customer. It has sales, it has marketing, it has mission, leadership components of the business, making sure things are moving forward, making sure things are getting done. There's just right there. I would say there are 6 major components of your business that we can kind of lump those into big barrels, and that will take all your week. It can take all your week. It can take all your life. And so it's easy in business to get overwhelmed and to get stressed out. And so managing workflow is one of these big things. So even though in the vein of, I'm pulling this from Lindsay Cox, her article on the 9 common small business problems that she released a year ago. A friend sent it to me and said, these are kind of interesting. Why don't you talk about these? I said, cool, I'll do it. When she talks about this article, or in her article, she's more talking about managing workflow of teams. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But the first thing for small business owners is managing your workflow. You will not manage your team until you manage yourself. And this is, I'm going to talk to, I work with an executive. I work with actually a couple of executives, and they, even at the highest level, multi-million-dollar businesses I'm always shocked at like how the workflow can overwhelm them, how their day-to-day is not as dialed in as it could be, as it should be, to produce maximized results. And so whether you're a small business owner or you're the CEO of a incredibly large, Fortune 500 company, this all applies to you. You got to dial in yourself. And so here's what I would say. Here's the most important thing everyone can do, whether you're a small thing, a large thing, whatever. Here's how you take ownership and manage your own workflow. In fact, everything I'm going to give you, let me just say this. I do a specific workshop for this. And so if this can help, if you resonate with what I'm about to say and go, okay, that sounds really insightful, I need to figure out how to do that. I want to encourage you, hit me up I might just put together, if enough people hit me up, I might just do like a half day workshop to run a bunch of you through this. We could do this on Zoom or virtual and just dial in, right, your daily process. So maybe you want one-on-one coaching, I can do that too. But if enough people are interested and go, man, this is what I need help in, let me know, because I know this for myself. When I'm dialed in, man, not only do I get more accomplished, I just feel good about the week. You end the week, go, man, that was so productive. You feel encouraged, you feel inspired. It feels good to get stuff done and the right stuff done. And so if this can help you, I would love to help if I can go into more detail. So what do? 3 things. To own yourself, to manage your own workflow, do these 3 things. Number 1, have a clear mission. It starts with knowing where you're going. The reason why life feels busy is because you're doing a lot, but you're on a hamster wheel. You're just responding to stuff. You're responding to emails. You're responding to whatever fires different employees or different situations are doing, but the ball's never really moving forward. So you need a mission. You need to go, what are we actually trying to achieve? What's ahead of us that we're trying to bring into reality, that we are trying to make happen? You need a mission ahead of you, and you might need that personally as well. I think, this is where if you just do this vocationally, work becomes everything. And you want to know why work becomes everything? Because work's the only thing that has a clear destination. You need a destination in your marriage. You need a destination in your parenting. You need a mission statement for your life. And so that you have other areas of life to work on. You know what you're kind of doing. You have intentionality with the actions of your everyday life so that you can make things better. So I think that this is good to have personally and corporately a mission statement. And again, we can talk in greater detail about what that is. Then once you have a mission statement, then you have 2 other things, and they're very similar but yet different. You have a weekly big 3. What are the 3 things? You don't have to have 3, but I wouldn't want you to have more than 3. You might have just 1, maybe 2, no more than 3. But I'll call them the weekly big 3 because that will at least give you a boundary. What are the 3 things you're going to do this week that are going to have significant impact in moving the ball forward towards the mission? You're trying to bring your ship closer to the mission, closer to the destination. What are you going to do to really give either direction or take ground with some real intentional rowing activity to get you there? So it may be, right, your big mission may be we're going to sell 10,000 units in 2 years. Okay, 10,000 units. Again, that small, big, what it is, just a number. We're going to sell 10,000 units. So that means we need to sell, 250 units this quarter. To sell 250 units this quarter, we need to, right? And you're breaking it down and you're going, okay, what do I need to do then? It's not just a matter of selling more units. What I need to do? I need to call my 5 biggest clients and have conversations with them about maximizing, right? What are we doing? Do they actually have all the product they need? How do I maximize the current clients I have? So that's my big project this week one of my weekly big 3 is call these 5 clients. And see, I need to know that that's doable. I need to know that don't put something on your weekly big 3 that's too big for the week. Maybe you go, man, those conversations will probably be 30 minutes in light of everything else I have to do. I can only call 1 this week. I can call 2 this week. I can call 3. Whatever it is, make sure that weekly big 3, these are big things that are getting done, that you can get done, you can put, right, they're going to move the ball forward. So you have a weekly big 3. But then you have a daily big 3. And that daily big 3 may be like, again, no more than 3, probably 1, is going to be like, maybe it's that call. My weekly big 3 is X. On this day, I'm going to schedule this hour to take this 30-minute call and have 50 minutes before to prepare for it and 50 minutes after to take action on it. I'm scheduling this hour for that 30-minute call because that's a part of my weekly big 3, right? So now it's a part of this specific day. Or maybe it's I need my weekly big 3 today is to prepare for that call. I need to have a meeting with that. I need to go through that clients and really ask myself what more could we do to maximize our service to them? What What could I, instead of showing up cold to that call, how can I show up warm and already have some solutions for them to capitalize on? Does that make sense? So the weekly big three is I have to have that call, but now I'm looking at my days going, okay, Mondays, I'm going to take an hour to prepare for that call. Tuesday, I'm going to have that call. Thursday, I'm going to implement what we talked about. If anything came out of that call, I'm going to figure that out. And maybe I'm just going to, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to reply to that call. Again, you're going to update these what I do is every Sunday night, I lay out both. I lay out my weekly big three, and then I lay out tentatively my daily schedule. And sometimes I only have, I don't lay out all three because I don't know yet. I don't know how that phone call is going to go, so I may tentatively put in the notes, follow up. But I haven't put it in my top three yet because I'm not sure. But then after I take that call on Tuesday, I'm preparing for Wednesday, go, okay, now what am I doing? Now I'm going to update and go, okay, nothing happened. He doesn't have the bandwidth to do anything right now. So I'm just going to follow up in an email and say, hey, thanks for the call today. Here's the reminders that if some space comes up, if some budget, whatever the response was, here's how you could capitalize. And we would love to serve you. We're always here for you. Thanks for being a part up till now. You want to have some flexibility, right? Because the big three, the weekly big three is that's that one, right? I want to capitalize on that client. I want to make sure that this is the big goal for where we're going to the mission. I need to capitalize on this, but you're going to break that down into smaller parts. Does that make sense? So what can you do to have a mission, to have a weekly big three, to go, what big actions do I need to take to get the ball rolling? And then the daily big three is breaking those weekly actions down into parts to say, okay, I need to prep for this phone call. I need to take this phone call. Maybe it's I got a client right now who needs to hire some people. So he needs to schedule time to go, I need to take an hour on this day to just be creative and totally think about the job description. The next day, I'm going to take an hour to write the final draft from those notes. I'm creating boundaries for myself to say it's got to be done. I'm going to give myself some time to be creative and not have to feel the pressure of coming to a solution, just to be creative and get everything down on paper. And then I'm going to take another day and I'm going to have another moment to say, I gotta get it done. Here's when it's done. Here's when it's due. Then on the next day, I'm going to post it. And so these are part of my daily big threes for this project of make sure to, post the final, job description, start getting resumes in. Okay, this is what I got to do. So if that makes sense, the more you can do that, the more you have clarity in your mission. And then you go, what weekly can I do to take? And some weeks you may have so much busy work. You may have so many other things that it's hard for you to go, man, what am I doing? But that's where you get to own and go, I've got to do something every week, at least one thing to move the ball forward for the mission. Otherwise, we're just doing business as usual. If you want to stay small, think hamster wheel. And that's where I think some of you, the reason you're not moving forward and growing in your business is because you're not thinking this way. You don't really have a mission. You're just hoping. You're hoping that you sell more. You're hoping that you grow. You're not assessing. You're not measuring. You're not really reverse engineering from a mission to go, how do we make this happen? And then taking strategical steps to make it happen. Do it. It's awesome. And you're going to accomplish it. So that's kind of how a brief overview of how you can take ownership personally. How do you do this with a team? How do you manage workflow of a team? And this is what I speak on. Like if you, again, I feel like I'm hawking myself, but again, this is my platform. Do what I want with it. I really, I'm going to spend, in fact, I have a goal personally. I have a goal. And I'm trying to actually, I say I have a goal. I have not, I'm trying to figure out still what this goal is. It's a nebulous goal right now. I'm trying to figure out, do I have a money goal? Like I want to make, this year I want to make $100,000 on speaking. I don't know, maybe. Do I want to speak at so many gigs? Maybe that's it. I haven't narrowed down what the goal is, whether it's a financial goal, whether it's a how many times I speak goal. I'm still working on that. But I have a desire for a goal to speak, and this is what I want to speak on. I want to speak to business owners. I want to speak to executives. I want to speak to leaders and their teams. There it is. There's the audience. To leaders and their specific teams about how to work together to be able to, how would I say this? How I want to speak to leaders and teams about how to create the most vibrant, incredible alignment so that you can accomplish amazing things. And this is how to do that. I believe, if you know, I was a professional musician for a time in my life. I was a conductor of orchestras. And I believe there is so much to glean from a conductor in the orchestra and how a leader and his team operate in business. I want to help businesses make incredible music. And to do that, the leader has to lead like a conductor. The leader has to stop running and grabbing the violins and leading them by playing. He needs to stop running over to the trumpet section and grabbing and showing them how to do it and playing with them. The conductor can't do that. The conductor does not get to play an instrument. The conductor leads through silence. The conductor leads through conducting, right? Conducting makes no sound. It's silent. It's quiet. And yet it produces a most amazing sound, a symphony, a work of music, right? And so that's what I think that if you're a leader, you've got to conduct. You've got to have a clear vision. You have to have a clear mission. You have to be able to speak to the particular musicians, right? So I need to know how to speak to the strings, my sales team. I need to know how to speak to the brass, my marketing team. I know how to speak to the woodwinds, my customer service. Right? You've got to be able to speak to those various groups and to speak their language and to speak ways that encourage them to be able to produce the best sound. But you've got to speak to the whole orchestra to make them feel a part of one. You've got to honor the individuals and the individual sections and to know how they're contributing to the overall mission, and yet you've got to make them all have an appreciation for each other. And the players, you need to write. If you're a player, how do you manage workflow? Well, you can't do it all by yourself, right? The conductor can't do it all by themselves. Those musicians have to take ownership of themselves. They have to take ownership of the part that they're going to play. They have to have an understanding of the whole so that they're not just playing random single notes. They're understanding how it plays together so they can take some ownership over the balance, over the timbre, over the sound that they're creating. And they need to play with skill and passion, right? They need to take ownership of that. They need to take ownership of how they play. But the conductor, right, you have to oversee that all. And so anyway, I'm super passionate about that. I'm super excited about bringing that message to businesses and seeing how, it helps inspire the owner or the executive to not get in the weeds, but to stay in their role, in their specific position. And I hope it inspires the employees, the people that they're leading, to really feel important about what they're doing. I think, sometimes I'm so concerned about this whole quiet quitting thing and people just not giving their best. And I think, again, multiple people are to blame for that. That's not just on the employee for quiet quitting. It's on the leaders to, I think, making an environment where that would be the thing that they felt they needed to do. I think it's a colossal meltdown of everyone involved. And so how do we avoid that? Well, we help people in whatever position they're in actually have life, be motivated to do what they're supposed to do. If you're an executive, lead. If you're an employee of a specific department, man, do your job with skill and with passion. See how you're contributing to the whole. See that you play an important part. You're not just a cog in a machine. And maybe that's where a lot of the quiet quitting is happening in companies that are just really bloated, where you feel like a cog in a machine because maybe you're not important. I don't know. And I think maybe that's good. Maybe it's good that those companies scale back, because that doesn't seem, I want people to work where they feel motivated, where they feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And when they see, whether you're in a small business or a big business, you see that what you do every day in work, it matters. It matters. It's not, right, the only thing. It's a part. You have a part to play. And in small businesses, those parts are usually more significant, which is why it's hard, when in a small business, when an employee takes vacation, the owner freaks out, right? Because it's like those things have still got to get done. And so how do you manage that workflow in a small business? There's a little more you have to do, but it's still possible. So I'd encourage you, in fact, let me wrap this up because this is one went real long. We have a Business Made Simple, Don Miller. Again, I use these frameworks in my consulting and my coaching. He has a management and productivity workshop that I lead. There's 5 core meetings that we help you put into place in your organization. So if you're a business owner and you have, I would say, 5 employees or more, until you have 5 employees, like if you have 5 employees, you're probably you still need some of these meetings. You probably don't need all 5. But once you get to 5, if you have 3, if you have 2, you have so much interaction together that you probably have these, you accomplish what's happening in these meetings just organically. But once you have 5, and especially if you're working in different places where you're maybe not having as much connectivity together, you need to start implementing these meetings to make sure that you're rowing in the same direction and that you're managing workflow well. So if that could help you, if that interests you, go, man, workflow is a massive thing for myself or for my team. Let me know. We have 2 options there to help you with that. Would love to help you. Comment below. Let us know where you're at. Let us know what you thought was helpful today and what we can do to help you further. Again, Seth Winterhalter, Halting Winter. Go to HaltingWinter.com and let us help you with whatever we can. Until next time.